Something strange is happening inside the New Orleans Saints building, and the rest of the NFC South refuses to say it out loud. While the Atlanta Falcons, Carolina Panthers, and Tampa Bay Buccaneers spent the offseason celebrating modest moves and quiet upgrades, New Orleans worked in complete silence. No parades, no loud press conferences, just a locked room full of new ideas and a plan that most of the league completely overlooked. Kellen Moore and Mickey Loomis did not ask for attention because they were busy building a machine that runs on pressure and precision. The scary part is nobody is ready for what comes next. They stopped chasing headlines. They started building a real identity. And the rest of the division is already behind. Here is what most fans keep missing while everyone watches the highlight reels. The new quarterback room is not a guessing game anymore. Tyler Shuck walked into a broken lineup and forced the staff to hand him the controls. The offense already shifted around his timing, and the trenches received fresh bodies that change the way this team attacks the line of scrimmage. Now the front office sits with the 8th pick in the draft, staring at a board that could rewrite the entire season. 6 names sit at the top of the list, each one pulling the franchise in a different direction. Carnell Tate, Mekhi Lemon, Jordan Tyson, Caleb Downs, Jeremiah Love, and Reuben Bain Jr. are all waiting on one phone call. Pick wrong and the timeline breaks. Pick right and the ceiling disappears. But here's the twist nobody is talking about before draft night. The move that matters most has nothing to do with the war room charts. It goes back to a timeline the city waited 55 years to finally reset, a decision that broke a long franchise pattern the moment the card hit the table. The last time New Orleans used an early round selection on a passer, the city got Archie Manning and a generation of waiting. Today, they hold a completely different hand, and the locker room already believes the young arm on the depth chart finishes the legacy. The rookie cycle brought plenty of questions, but the real answer sits in a 67.6% completion mark that forced the entire building to stop guessing and start believing. What happened after that switch explains exactly why the NFC South should be nervous and why everything we thought about this team just changed. New Orleans spent over half a century searching for a franchise passer after Archie Manning first took the field. The front office finally stopped circling the draft board and made a bold early selection on the second day of the event. Most fans immediately pointed to Spencer Rattler as the long-term answer, yet the opening weeks told a completely different story. The offense stalled under the original plan, and the building needed an immediate spark. That spark arrived when the coaching staff finally flipped the depth chart and handed the ball to the young player who would quietly rewrite the entire season narrative. Tyler Shuck stepped into a lineup that was missing key pieces and still found a way to win. He took over in week 13 and immediately strung together 4 straight victories. Through 9 total starts, he finished 5 wins and 4 losses while completing 67.6% of his passes. He delivered 10 touchdowns through the air and added 3 more with his legs. The numbers matter, but the real story is how he played through injuries around him. He operated with calm precision, making reads that veterans usually take years to master. Fans quickly noticed a rare comfort level that reminded them of Drake May during his early Patriots run, except this rookie was doing it on a roster that was clearly hurting. The league saw what a healthy pocket can do, but the truth is he built that success with a limited supporting cast. Imagine the leap when the surrounding pieces finally match his pace. The coaching staff already saw the ceiling and decided to build an entire offensive system around his timing and decision-making. That system required a specific architect, and the front office found the exact mind needed to push the franchise forward. The next piece of the puzzle was waiting to sign a contract, and his playbook would change everything about how New Orleans attacks defenses. Kellen Moore did not arrive in New Orleans to run slow drills or wait for potential. He walked in with a fully formed offensive attack that relies on quick timing and calculated risk. The scheme focuses on short slants, intermediate posts, and play-action shots designed to punish over-aggressive coverage. Every concept in the playbook matches exactly what the young quarterback already proved he can handle. This is not about trick plays or flashy formations. It is about rhythm, chain movement, and keeping defenses guessing with simple execution. The physical foundation of the system arrived through quiet but critical roster upgrades. The front office brought David Edwards over from Buffalo to lock down the interior line, solving a protection issue that plagued early drives. At left tackle, Kelvin Banks continues to mature into a long-term anchor on the blind side, giving the pocket a solid left wall. Behind that line, the running back room suddenly looks like a weapon. Travis Etienne joined a backfield already loaded with Alvin Kamara, Kendre Miller, Devin Neal, and Audric Estime. That depth changes how the offense controls the clock and wears down front sevens. The identity is now clear. New Orleans will win games by controlling the line of scrimmage, chewing up the clock, and forcing defenses to respect both the run and the quick passing game. The trenches are set. The backfield is deep, and the coaching staff finally has the tools to run their exact vision. But one critical gap remains in the passing attack, and it leaves the entire system exposed if left unaddressed. The front office knows exactly where the weakness sits, and the solution is currently sitting in a draft war room just days away from being called. Holding the 8th selection in the draft feels like standing at a crossroads where every direction looks promising. Elite players naturally fall into that range. Yet the sheer number of viable targets creates a heavy burden for the decision makers. 6 prospects currently dominate the internal conversations, and each one would reshape the franchise in a completely different direction. The front office cannot afford to guess wrong because the margin for error in the division is vanishingly small. The wide receiver group offers immediate firepower with Carnell Tate from Ohio State, who secured over 96% of catchable targets, and draws quick comparisons to Chris Olave. Makai Lemon from USC claimed the top national receiver award and projects with the route T running precision that scouts compare to Amon-Ra St. Brown. The defensive board presents equally compelling options with Caleb Downs, a Thorpe Award-winning safety who commands respect the moment he steps onto the field. Clemson corner Mansour Delane brings elite press coverage, while Miami pass rusher Reuben Bain Jr. offers the burst the front 7 desperately needs. Running back Jeremiah Love from Notre Dame sits near the top as well, promising a dual back system alongside the veteran core. Every name carries legitimate first-round value, and the coaching staff feels the pull toward one specific side of the ball. The internal debates are intense because selecting any of these prospects requires ignoring another massive need. The front office cannot predict which way the war room will lean until a private session on the opposite coast completely shifts the evaluation landscape. A single workout quietly assembled 20 different franchises, and the results forced scouts to throw out their old projections. Jordan Tyson disappeared from the entire early draft circuit after a hamstring issue forced him to skip the combine and his pro day. The silence created heavy doubt across league offices, and executives began questioning whether his fall tape still matched his current physical condition. Weeks of uncertainty passed until the private workout finally took place in Arizona. 20 separate organizations sent scouts and coaches to witness one simple truth, and the room quickly realized the old film still told the complete story. The presence of that many teams proves how highly the prospect was viewed before the injury. Evaluators watched him run between 20 and 25 routes and drop exactly one ball while showing explosive twitch and vertical pop that defied months of rehab. The visual traits matched his peak college form, and the medical reports cleared enough doubt to push his stock back toward elite territory. Veteran scouts immediately brought up Dane Brugler reports comparing his skill set to Stefon Diggs, while the front office recalled its own history of turning health concerns into cornerstone players. Marshawn Lattimore, Ryan Ramczyk, and even Tyler Shuck all carried early flags before becoming foundational pieces. The medical clearance and workout performance transformed a gamble into a logical target for the 8th pick. A receiver of that caliber instantly solves the most glaring offensive weakness, yet it does not erase the deeper reality the coaching staff must still address. The current outside group lacks a proven deep threat, leaving the middle of the field completely exposed to heavy coverage. Fixing that gap requires more than one early selection, which is why the front office has already mapped out a secondary wave of targets waiting just beyond the first round. The current receiving room runs on proven talent at the top, but the depth chart drops sharply once you look past the starters. Chris Olave operates as the undisputed number 1 option with clean routes and reliable hands. Devon Vallée showed serious promise before an early season injury cut his momentum short. Beyond those two, the roster features Jalen Polk, Bub Means, and Trey Palmer, all of whom still need to prove they can handle consistent snap counts. The tight ends provide safety options through Juwan Johnson and Noah Fant, but neither player stretches the field the way a true outside weapon can. The deep passing game vanished the moment Rashid Shaheed moved to Seattle, and the offense paid the price. Defenses quickly realized they could stack the box without worrying about being beaten over the top. Kellen Moore needs a true field stretcher to unlock the full potential of his play-action system. One elite pick does not fix the entire depth issue, which is why the staff is targeting proven second-day options that fit the exact mold. Chris Hilton Jr. out of LSU grew up 30 minutes from the stadium and brings the exact vertical speed needed to replace the lost deep threat. Chris Bell from Louisville already shares college chemistry with the starting quarterback, making him a logical target after a clean bill of health. The receiving hunt extends far beyond those two names, with Omar Cooper Jr., Denzel Boston, Elijah Sarrett, Zachariah Branch, and K.C. Conception all offering different styles of explosive playmaking. The backfield also presents late-round surprises, including Mike Washington Jr. from Arkansas, who recorded a 4.33 40 time and a 39-inch vertical. Nicholas Singleton recently cleared his foot injury and re-entered the conversation as a high-motor runner. While the offensive board looks full, the real quiet revolution is happening across the line of scrimmage. The defensive side of the ball has been quietly assembling a unit built for pressure and adaptability. Caden Ellis crossed division lines from Atlanta to strengthen the linebacker group, while Chase Young delivered a strong bounce-back campaign that silenced early career doubts. Carl Granderson continues to produce without national attention, proving consistency in a system that rewards smart positioning. Brandon Staley designed a scheme that thrives on versatile defenders who can shift from coverage to pressure in a single snap. Yet one critical role remains unfilled. The missing piece is the hybrid defender, a player who lives in the slot, attacks off the edge, and disrupts opposing tight ends. The draft board features two prospects who fit that exact mold with precision. Clemson corner Avion Terrell, the younger brother of Atlanta star A.J. Terrell, set a school record for forced fumbles by a defensive back with 8 career takeaways, including 5 in the most recent season. UCF edge rusher Malachi Lawrence stands 6'4" at 253 pounds and posted a 40-inch vertical jump. His athletic profile places him in elite company alongside Myles Garrett, T.J. Watt, and Montez Sweat, offering the kind of disruptive presence that changes coverage responsibilities. Either selection instantly elevates the defensive ceiling and gives the coaching staff the flexibility to run multiple pressure packages without sacrificing coverage. The offensive blueprint is locked, the trenches are reinforced, and the secondary is taking shape. The only thing left is a final strategic move that the front office has avoided for nearly 2 decades. The draft calendar finally presents the perfect window to execute a play that could turn one high selection into multiple proven starters. New Orleans has refused to trade back in the first round since 2007, holding firm on staying put for 18 consecutive drafts. That pattern suddenly breaks when the draft board presents a rare opportunity to accumulate value without losing talent. Moving down just a few slots allows the general manager to collect a premium second-round selection while still securing a top-tier prospect. The strategy transforms a single high pick into 2 reliable starters, and that depth shift turns a rebuilding timeline into a legitimate playoff push. The roster construction is nearly complete, and the timeline accelerates faster than anyone outside the building expected. The young quarterback has his coach, the offensive scheme matches his strengths, and the trenches finally provide reliable protection. Weapons are arriving from multiple draft rounds to stretch the field and balance the attack. The defensive side is adding hybrid playmakers who fit a modern pressure system. The rest of the division spent the offseason making minor adjustments, while New Orleans quietly built a complete roster from the ground up. One phone call next Thursday night will officially seal the direction of the franchise. The front office holds all the leverage, the coaching staff has the exact tools they requested, and the locker room believes the ceiling is finally visible. The quiet rebuild is over, and the real competition begins the moment the draft board lights up. The NFC South has 1 week left to adjust, because by next Friday morning, this team will look completely different and the entire division hierarchy will shift overnight.